Alright, what's up everybody? Got a fun chance to record an adaptive match here. This is for the KAGI, Keyforge as Garfield Intended League, playing against Murph or Fudgenator, depending on what Discord server you're on. And I believe he is also recording this, so this should actually be really cool, especially for an adaptive match to get to see both sides of the game. And since I've talked about this deck so much, and since it's kind of my throwback favorite for adaptive and everything, we're just going to go ahead and play slightly beefy. It's a fun deck. I hope this is pretty good games here. I haven't played it in a while, and it does have a ton of decision space to play it, which is why I think it was really good for adaptive. If you're playing it a lot, there's so many ways you can get like slight but helpful optimization to really like play best, and really most of it comes down to there's like no efficiency, and so you have to be almost perfect on when to play, discard, or hold certain cards, because there are certain cards that you do really need to hold, there are certain cards that you do really need to just cycle. And that just makes it a little bit tougher, especially in closer games. He's playing Bobeth. I don't know if you've seen Murph or Fudgenator has been uploading lots of great videos, lots of great content. A lot of these matches, I think, actually, he's been doing a lot of the he's been doing a lot of the what is it? NKFL too, I think. But anyways, this seems to be one of his favorite adaptive decks. Dark Tidings, really it centers a lot around the Sanctum, trying to build this board that's going to really burst with the Urian. Can never remember exactly what Dry the River does. It's like I maybe can't reap if I don't have the Tide or something. Or is that a different one? Not a big deal for this deck. It's not very interested in reaping very much, so should be interesting. I would, let's see, they got just a decent amount of creatures and stuff. I would say slightly beefy is probably favored in this matchup, but we'll just see how game one goes. And I think for the reversal matchup, Bring Low will be a big one to watch out for. This deck definitely kind of gets into those close games, so if they're able to kind of bring low and then just barely take me off, that could hurt. But I think the Ronnies are really easy to see coming in this deck, but the one that isn't is the Mars Needs Amber. And I think you kind of want to, you really have to rely on this more than you would expect. I don't think I really want to start with this hand. It'd be a lot of discards at this point, and then just some Amber Pips, so they have, yeah, I don't think they have any artifact control, so turn one Nepseed doesn't seem bad at all. And then turn two might literally just be discarding all three of these. He's talking about my new icon up here, just trying to really lead into that Mars Rebel theme for the new set. I made it in Paint using basically the original Mars one. I just kind of redid some colors and then kind of cropped the eyes. And I spent way too long on it. So that was fun, but yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's eye-catching, at least. And again, I'm so excited for Mars to come back. Should be a blast. Anyways, this hand is not looking fantastic. We definitely need to cycle into some of our Mars creature control because I know his deck is going to be, yeah, really trying to lean into that Sanctum. Oh, looks like we get to see it right away. Yeah, while tide is low, creature can't reap. Got Larry. As long as he doesn't play the Urian, I think we're okay. If he plays Urian, I might be in actually a lot of trouble here. Might be deciding whether or not to play some Amber control. That wouldn't really have any value yet. Yeah, just plays it for the Amber, no worries. Well, welcome to playing against Slightly Beefy. That is, most of the creatures we're actually wanting to discard already is the Untamed ones besides Glimmer. The Shadows ones in this situation I'll probably play because they'll most likely get fought off anyways, and again, wanted to just cycle so we can get into some of that Mars removal for these big Sanctum dudes, because this can get out of hand fast. But going into Unfathomable right now. It is a fun deck to play though, especially if you kind of, which a lot of people probably know now, if they've watched any of my other videos, they kind of know what it's trying to do. And then this first match of the adaptive, you obviously get to see me playing it and kind of what I'd normally do with it. But like I said, you will get some decision points later on, especially with like the Ronnies and stuff, on if it's worth playing them for the one steal or if you always hold them for two. Things like Yancy Gang and Umbra, if those are worth tossing out there. Here, Guild Spine. So the interesting thing is they actually haven't drawn any or played any Tide Raisers yet. So they may, if they don't find one of those, Biome Discovery, what else do they have? Ambervac. It's almost all in Star Alliance. Oh, there you go. They just took the chains for it. So taking chains against this deck can also be pretty dang risky. Because again, this one, I know I haven't seen him yet. This deck has a lot of Amber Pips coming. I don't mind playing out this Shadow here because any steal value for this deck is usually good value. There we go. Man, still missing a lot of those Mars action cards, but I mean, like, the game is progressing slow enough at this point that the later part of my deck is just going to be so much gas. But we'll see how they deal with this. Most likely fight in some. The 2 armor from Larry of the Lake is good and bad. There you go. Okay, so fighting the Yancy Gang, fighting the Umbra, and then a Cleansing Wave is definitely not bad for them. So we're just going to do... I really don't mind playing out my Mars creatures here. I think, one, they have big enough creatures where I can fight off to kill my own Mars creatures if I need to. I think this is one that they're going to have to deal with because they're really interested in a lot of reap value. So, and I'm not going to take the tide here. I am probably just going to kill my own Ronnie with the Beam Buckler just to have one more kind of dealt with. And because it wouldn't do anything to his line. And we did see the bring low already, so some of that amber control potential is already taken out, and I actually really don't mind this being out at the moment because once my board is clear, it represents huge amber gain from this and or amber steal from this and the Mars needs amber. Basically, it means everything is probably going to take damage instead of just dying. The problem is I really need to deal with some of this stuff sooner. But I think I don't mind going untamed here. Except what do I get back? Might just be the Phlox'em spike with the glimmer. I don't love it, but yeah, I just really have not drawn into. It's not a great start. Let's just say it that way. But I don't mind slowing him down here with the untamed. So drop glimmer, bring back the spike, and then we'll persistence hunting for unfathomable, just to slow down that big board. In one sense, I don't mind them pushing harder because then I'm starting to get more steal potential if I can find that Mars needs amber, but I think we're at a point where I'm just going to need to start pushing the board a little bit. So they're at check here. I think I actually just let them have this one. Can't kill the glimmer, so I can't actually get value off of all this stuff. I think I just need to toss all of this and just start getting some amber generation going. Have the nature's call if I need it. Ooh, the dry the river. Forgot about that. Man, this is a bad turn. Can even kill much here? Not really. So we're just gonna start putting damage into some things. Usually it's gonna be the outside ones. What in the world? This is such a weird draw for this deck. Of course, the one time I'm recording. It's okay. It's still not like a super fast game happening at the moment. And we'll discard a few more Shadows cards here. Reap, Strange, Shifting Battlefield. Okay, we'll take them off check with Ronnie. Let's see if they go to 7. Probably not, but I wouldn't be mad. Okay, so Shadows, play the Night Forge, discard, play the Ronnie, just take them off check. I just am not sure what is happening with this deck right now. So much of this Mars stuff is near the bottom, which still isn't like the worst, because there's a lot of he's going to have a huge board by the time I actually draw into it all, so there's still going to be hopefully big potential for a Mars Needs Amber play, but I kind of would like to be controlling his board more than this at this point. Just not seeing things in the order we're hoping for. It's okay, this Untamed turn shouldn't be too bad, and since it's Dark Tidings, we really have no worries about going over 6 Amber, so we'll probably just bounce the ones that already have Amber on them. Maybe this Larry too, so that we can do a good They're Everywhere, which will just put damage on everything he's got. Just raising the potential for that Mars Needs Amber play. Interesting decision there. Because we're going to go into shadows here. I get so much steal off of this with the Ronnies, it's probably worth it. I still don't want to take the Tide. So we're just going to fight this into something so it dies. We'll bring back a Ronnie. Steal some more. Play this. Yeah, no Mars Needs Amber there is probably going to be the game. Well, that's what I get for recording. Just not doing what the deck is supposed to do at all, which is almost entirely creature control. And yeah. Just didn't line up. So we'll see. Yeah, they're probably going just back into what they just did. Which means that last turn was probably a misplay. Yeah. Well, that's a bummer. Okay, well. Oh, man. Yeah. That's frustrating, but it's Keyforge. It happens. Just gotta see if I can do the same to them here. See if he just discards all of his creatures. But people tend to get better draws with this than I do. Yeah, I wonder, once they had such a big board, just out of practice, for sure. And yeah. played fine. Early draw didn't help. I had all that untamed stuff right at the beginning, so kind of just had to take a few do-nothing turns. I didn't see the Mars needs amber. Guaranteed they find that pretty quick. This seems like a fine hand to keep, because we can Biome Discovery on the first turn, and then we'll have the Strange Ordination on the second turn, which won't quite put us to check. But puts Larry the Lake down. Oh, I am totally fine seeing that go, so Strange Ord, shifting. I guess I could have captured one there, but I'm not sure it makes a huge difference. This Kincan could actually be significant in this matchup. I do need to choose. Okay, so there's Ronnie, there's another Ronnie, and Yancy Gang. Alright. Skeleton Key is a big one I didn't have last game. Oh, that's pretty fun. I can actually kill the Yancy Gang. Question is, do I want to? Let's go Star Alliance. Gonna do a selective preservation. Capture. Play him on the left. Put the officer's blaster. I feel like letting that Yancy Gang do stuff is not a great idea, so. And they already, again, discarded that Mars needs amber, so I really don't have to worry about going big in like going wide in terms of them getting a bunch of amber from me. Taking the tide. Why? I did steal one. Okay, that was at 4, I guess. Is there everywhere? Oh, already had damage from the... Oh, this is going to be kind of a weird turn. I think I need to cycle. No, because we'll see if he plays Arani on the next turn. Because now I can hold this over as another capture if I do just choose to take the tide back. But yeah, going into shadows here. Reaps. Night Forge. I don't mind this capture at all because it means I can actually play more of my own, and I will definitely get that back at some point. Throwing stars. Yeah, doesn't play the other Ronnie, which makes sense. This is going to be kind of a weird turn. Oh, Flash Freeze is not the one I was thinking. So the question is, does he have two Ronnies here, or just the one? Is it worth letting him steal? I think I have to play through it because otherwise he'll just go back into the Ronnie skeleton key and I won't forge. I think I need a forge here. So we're just going to play a bunch of this. We are going to make them lose one. Take that one back. And we're going to play bubbles for no value. Oh, creature to exhaust. I was like, no, bubbles is enemy creature. And then we're going to abandon ship. And then drop bubbles back. So at least I think we're forging here. We can get the... Yeah. His bone rot. Okay, so we're going into Star Alliance. We're going to play Kirkar on the right. We're going to put this on Kirkar. So one of the things about the removal in Slightly Beefy is it's actually harder for it to kill creatures on the flank because of just the way those Phlox'em cards work. So we're going to try to capture stuff on flank creatures and make them a little bit tougher and beefier, which is easy because we've got things like Hadros Wall to make them even bigger. And now we got the tide again without having to take chains, which I think will be pretty important here because he has been on chains for a little bit. Definitely a different game so far, but obviously he's going to have some Mars stuff coming, so might start losing more creatures here. But again, having that Mars Needs Ambric on could actually be really significant. And the Glimmer is, Gravid Cycle's gone. There's the Glimmer for Ronnie. Yep. Earthbind on the Karkar, okay. We're going to go into Unfathomable. Just going to drop a bunch of dudes. Again, big guys on the flanks, just to make them a little bit tougher to kill. I think we do here. And Reap. Again, not worried about the damage on him because the Mars Needs Amber is gone. And now the Glimmer is used. We could see a Nature's Call here, which would not be fun. But I think I try to get this Sanctum. Well, honestly, I probably call Unfathomable here until he deals with it, because I can even capture unless he takes the Tide again, which would be pretty devastating for that deck. Man, just frustrated about that first game. But I feel like I've hyped this deck up a lot, and since that Prime where it did really well, I've never had as good a success with it. And I think part of it is just I'm not playing it as much. When I played in that Prime, I think I maybe owned like 12 decks total, and this was one of them. And so I just was like playing it and using it so much that I was kind of really in practice and um, probably better able to think through even just like whether or not I should have played those Mars creatures. But it wasn't even the Mars creatures because I did have the chance to fight them off. It was just that I could not kill my 1-power Glimmer. I wasn't able to remove it, and that just kind of killed me. Treasure map, skeleton key. And he still has the Ronnie in hand. Okay, so this is definitely a Unfathomable turn. Drop this. We're going to use the action ability. Let's see, I go to 6 if I kill this. So maybe that's the right call, right? Because fight is 2, 3, 4. And we know he has the Ronnie again. So he can Ronnie and then skeleton key, but oh, I guess it doesn't matter because he has the Ronnie. So if he Ronnies and skeleton keys, it's basically the same difference. We could just get a big Mars board clear here. But if he does that, I can follow up with Sanctum, which will not. Orbital Bombardment to kill the Glimmer. But the crazy thing is this means I'm forging. All he's got is the Beam Buckler and Phlox'em Spike. That's actually pretty huge. So can't stop the Forge here, which is unfortunate, but do want to kind of force him back into Mars. And then threaten that Urian. We are going to do this though, because now we can't run that into my creatures to use more of those Mars actions. Okay, definitely like the Star Alliance I'm seeing here. Save the pack, that's fair. I actually don't mind that because it puts him back on the flank. And he played the Marmo Swarm, which is a pretty rough call. And we have the Bring Low in hand now, which could be huge. So we're going to go Star Alliance. Is that correct? Yeah. Because he's going to have a really hard time killing these now, aside from a Nature's Call, which still doesn't turn off the Bring Low, so Star Alliance. Drop the Tabor on the left. I'm going to put this on the Staunch Knight. And then we're just going to Reap with Urian to get 2. Not crazy gains with him, but it's something. And now we can also threaten the Tabor on, or the Bring Low on a Star Alliance turn with the Tabor. Okay, unstunts Beam Buckler. Should just have a lot of not very useful Mars. Oh, I guess they could have the sample collection, which would hurt. Okay, kills the Urian. Plays those two. So let's see, in Sanctum I can get 1, 2, 3 amber, 4 if I want to be super greedy. I feel like I just need to play this stuff. I don't like this turn. Well, Sanctum actually forces shadows. Because again, we know the Mars Needs Amber is gone, and all he has aside from that is the Ronnies. So I think Sanctum going to check here is actually the correct play. Reap. Reap. Shifting battlefield, we're going to move this guy to the left. Just again, he might, well, we're going all in on this, so it really doesn't matter a whole lot. But going to spread that amber out now. And the next turn is probably just going to be Star Alliance. Keep pushing check until those Ronnies are gone. But this should be, yeah, has to play Ronnie or use the Skeleton Key. And then next turn I'll force Ronnie and Skeleton Key. Place 2 Ronnies, that's fine. Knuckles, Skeleton Key. So the question is, can I get to 7 here? Well, I just need to get to 6. If I get to 6, I force the Skeleton Key again. And get 1, 2, 3. And then I discard Triska so I can use this to reap to 7. I think that's game. Okay, so Biome. Teresa's not helping me at this point. Gonna discard the Triska, which feels pretty rough. So 6, 7, and then we'll play Shifting Battlefield to capture 1 more. I guess it doesn't capture because you don't have any. Oh man, I'm shaking, but that should be game. Other Ronnie is in discard, and Mars Needs Amber is already gone, so there's no more Amber control. Woo! Makes me feel a little bit better. I was at least able to turn it around in this second game. So now his deck is the one that has 1. So we're bidding chains on that. He gets the first bid at 0. Oh, I don't want to take his deck. I really think Slightly Beefy should kill this game. Really glad Sargasso's not on the board still. That would have made things really frustrating. Oh. Saying he can't quite keep the board down, and I think that's one of the tough things in this deck is you basically have to decide, am I controlling Amber or am I controlling the board? The only exception to that is Mars needs Amber, where you can kind of do both. But otherwise, like you saw, if I just force him into playing Mars or Shadows more to stop a key, then nothing they can do. And technically, if they had gotten me to 5 there, I think I still win, because next turn I just Cleansing Wave, Strange Ordination. Can never remember if their username on here was Murph or Fudgenator. Looks like it's Fudgenator. Or Murph on here, Fudgenator on Discord. Let's see. No, this is adaptive best of 1, competitive, KAGI. Game link. So we're on to game 3, and we both need to pick his deck. That one. And basically, I want slightly beefy. I think even if his deck is on one chain, I give it to him. Because I think slightly beefy wins this matchup most of the time. There's just been some weird draw stuff, or just, yeah. But we'll see. See if he has the same viewpoint. I think some of the other key cards that he missed there, Nature's Call would have done a lot of damage. Again, the Mars needs Amber early, which I think, again, it's hard to say whether or not that was the right call. Having it that early on is really tough. Okay, bids 2 chains on it. I'm going to give it to him on 2 chains. But he didn't use any of his recursion to get it back, and there were definitely a couple turns where it probably would have been better to get it back as opposed to the Ronnies. But the Ronnies are always so tempting because they force your opponent to play a certain way. Like you could see I was trying to stay at 6 or lower, but it just, once that skeleton key is out, it's also hard to play around. So like there was a lot of good he was doing there with the shadows. But this is what the turns should look like for this deck. Treasure map turn 1 is pretty gross. I don't think I discard the skeleton key, but that gives him 2 turns to build up a board, so I can kind of hit it with some of this control. Okay, takes the tide right off, that's fine. Skeleton key for 4. Hold on to that skeleton key because we are going to want that later. Already seeing some Mars controls. We'll go Untamed here. Discard. Song of Spring for the Amber, and then exhaust these guys, so he can't use this for amber control now, which is a big deal. And then we're back into some shadows. What was I saying though? The recurring the Ronnies. Yeah, it's a really tough call. He was definitely going for more of a race strategy than kind of building that Mars needs amber turn, which I obviously didn't do a great job of either. Okay, so flash freeze, and then he's got the 3 there, so we're just going to drop more shadows here. Skeleton key and Knife Forge. So being up a key here feels way better than before. We've got some really fun untamed stuff, so I can either do... Says it seems like a pretty nice start. Okay, so no armor yet, so that's a really big deal. The question is, so I have 2 save the pack, and I think that's where it's probably not worth playing it here, because I can just get damage on all of these, and then see if we can find the Mars needs amber. So we'll do that, and then we'll use the persistence hunting to just tap them all again. So play Glimmer to get back the persistence hunting. Play that for Unfathomable. Play there everywhere to get damage on everything, and then discard that. Okay, so no Mars needs amber yet. Just a little sad, but it'll come in time. Steel. Ah, the cleansing wave. I forgot about that one. That definitely hurts, but they went up above 8, so actually pretty rough turn there. Question is, do I play them both? I think I do. I really need to get into the Mars stuff, so I just want to cycle at this point. And then we're going to capture this on the Glimmer. There's our Mars needs amber. So it might be a couple turn thing. Oops, bubbles. It only goes to 7 here, which is a pretty big deal. Oh, no, goes to 8. Are you going to bounce my creatures, though? Probably bounces the bubbles and discards it. Okay. I think I actually go for the Untamed turn here and let them have this key, because then that turns the sample collection on, which gets me this 4 amber back. And I just run Glimmer into something to get more damage and see if we can... Says he doesn't want to give me my creatures back. Can't imagine why. They're all so friendly. Discard the Normal Swarm. And since I'm still not seeing my dumb orbital bombardments, we're just gonna Fight this in here. It's best to get damage on the middle creatures so we can capture Ember on those and then see if we can hit him with the Phlox'em Spike if I do find an orbital. Which of course I don't, but we do have a very nice Untamed turn coming here, and I can actually do plenty with Mars anyways. We'll probably just dump a bunch of this stuff. Yeah, just can't believe how little we're seeing these orbital bombardments these games. But it's totally fine at this point because we're still going to have a pretty brutal play. Okay, so at this point, I think I just capture 4 onto these guys because I can bounce them next turn. And then we're going to pick up the Flame Gill. So we're going to Mars needs Amber. Use this. Mars needs Amber. Sample collect. Amber, Amber. That guy. And then if he doesn't kill these, we bounce him. Nature's Call next turn. And he can't have much Unfathomable left, so he doesn't want to use those creatures either. He's probably got a lot of Sanctum sitting in hand. Or Star Alliance. Okay, so we got that one. I think I go back into Mars here. I can do... Where's that greedy? Gets me so much Amber though. So let's see. 2, 4. Fight. Bringlow's already gone. Yeah. Okay. Let's go Mars. We're not taking Archives. Orbital for 1, 2. And then fight. I feel like both of us got unlucky in our first games with Beefy, that it wasn't quite doing that kind of control, where we got unlucky. Which unfortunately just favors me a little bit in the adaptive because I know that's what the deck can do. But yeah, I mean, definitely some lucky draws too, especially the treasure map to start and then glimmering these guys, or this guy, just really kind of gave me that extra speed at the beginning there to kind of burn through. Says he had some clunky hands that game with Beefy. And I think maybe I didn't say that in my initial video about the deck, that like it can be very clunky at times. Even like my first game we saw, just a lot of really kind of awkward draws and stuff. And so it takes a lot of hand crafting to kind of set up turns like we saw with the Nepenthe Seed, Mars needs Amber, and kind of just trying to make sure there was enough value for damage on his creatures and stuff for it to be really worth the play. I think that turn we easily could have just played the Nature's Call and bounced the Ronnies and just left it at that, because then this Mars turn would have been even more brutal, but I think we had enough of an advantage that it was just worth it to close it out there. Man, I just cannot type. wouldn't have changed his bid. I think that's fair just because mine is probably more variable. I think this deck looks like it probably plays pretty consistent most of the time. He saw like, well, I guess didn't see the Strange Ordination, which would have been a little bit more amber, but I think, yeah, this card is one that I think for both of us, like, probably more than most other things, it has to come at the right time in order for the deck to really do what it wants to with like the Phlox'em and stuff. Like I don't think either of us got any creatures destroyed with the Phlox'em cards, which like is not typical. The Mars Needs Amber play I usually try to set up is a Carpet Phlox'em into the Mars Needs Amber into the Phlox'em Spike, so you kind of damage everything or kill some things, throw a bunch of their amber on it, and then blow it up. And then if you can do that with that combo with the Nepenthe Seed like I just showed, then the amber swings are crazy. But obviously his deck is a threatening enough board. But yeah, I think that second game, I don't know, just playing the Mars Needs Amber early on and not recurring it is just the only thing I think could have probably changed that around. But again, it's different than playing Ronnie's turn after turn to kind of get you that extra speed too. But cool. Well, some fun games. I'm super behind on getting my matches in for this league, so I probably will need to do at least one more today. I don't know if I'll record more of them or not, but it was really fun to do this. Be interesting to go back and watch his stream just to kind of see his perspective on stuff and what's happening and see if there's any like WTF moments and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Not exactly sure when I'll post this, probably pretty soon afterwards, but I think I want to try and record a few other games today too, just to kind of have maybe even a backlog of stuff to post, just because my weeks have been so crazy. But we'll cut this one off there. Thanks guys for watching, and again, go watch his recording of these two. Should be really cool to see both perspectives. See you later.